Thank you. I often say when I'm introduced, my mother's not in the audience, so you don't need to go through my entire bio. But my mother is in the audience today, so I'm glad that was done. Thank you, Mom. Mr. Chancellor, Madame President, members of the graduating class, faculty, families, and friends, it is with deep gratitude and humility that I accept this honorary doctorate from Trent University and do so with the greatest respect for its mission. Thank you. Congratulations, graduates. We're here to celebrate you and your accomplishments. Enjoy it, you've earned it. It's also a day to recognize your families, your friends, your teachers who have supported you. So let's give them a round of applause. Trent's mission, which includes preparing students to make meaningful contributions to a complex world, has never been more urgent. Each of you plays a role in building a stronger Canada, building inclusive prosperity, not just economic, but also social cohesion and environmental sustainability. And Trent has prepared you well for this. You have the capacity to see what can be, unconstrained by what has been. You can create solutions earlier generations could not imagine. Some of you may be thinking, but I'm just graduating. I don't have the power to make change. Well, graduates, I'm here to tell you that leadership is not a title, and it's not something just for later in your career. Be leaders now with purpose and with courage in your day-to-day actions and behaviors. So as you launch your careers, I'll share 3 of my career lessons. Lesson number 1, lead with your purpose and values. Ask yourself questions like, who do I want to be, not just what do I want to do? What brings me fulfillment? How do I want to be of service? So what does it take to build a life of purpose? Only you can answer that through reflection, humility, learning, and experimentation. Start by getting clear on what you stand for. Write down your values, translate them into daily behaviors, and let them guide your actions and decisions. This takes courage, but it matters. It matters a lot. Staying true to your values creates fulfillment, meaningful relationships, and stronger communities. People sometimes ask me if my values changed over my career. While they evolved, many are foundational, instilled by my parents: empathy, kindness, inclusion, leadership, and excellence. They're about character, about doing what's right, not what's easy. And I'm not going to go off script here, even though I did at the outset. A shout out again to my mom, who's here today, for giving me deep roots, my values, and then giving me wings to fly. And to my late father, who I lost at the age of 11, for teaching me never to limit my ambitions just because I was a girl. Lesson number 2, think of your career as a mosaic. Each experience adds to the bigger picture. Some of you may already know your purpose, but for most, it's a journey. I spent the first half of my career at RBC working across many different businesses and divisions. I learned the most when I stepped outside my comfort zone. I became known as someone who was adaptable in new situations. And when assessing job opportunities, I asked, what skills will I gain? Which leaders will I learn from? What can I contribute and how can I stand out? Will this create more options for me in the future? Does it fit with my life priorities? And I can't say that I've loved 100% of any role, but I've always found purpose and satisfaction in the bigger picture. I made some tough decisions along the way. I took on 2 roles at the same level, or lateral moves, and I even accepted a lower level job, what most people would call a demotion. I did it for the learning opportunities. I knew people would talk. I knew they would speculate, wondering if I was off the career fast track. I even declined my first offer for an executive position. And you might wonder why. I had just returned from my second maternity leave and hadn't figured out how to be the mom I wanted to be and manage a demanding career. So the critical lesson that I learned, and I carry with me to this day, judge success by your own standards. There's no single pathway or timeline for success. Find the one that's right for you. In the second half of my career, I found my sweet spot in human resources. There was great purpose alignment. And as Chief Human Resources Officer, I could create the environment where everyone had the opportunity to unlock their potential, while at the same time drive business performance. And the third lesson is to be an advocate and champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. The evidence is clear. We will not reach our full potential as individuals, as a country, globally, without equity and full inclusion. Yes, we've made progress, but not enough. And in the current environment, we risk backsliding. Countering this will take leadership. It will take courage. Now, I didn't become a champion of DEI until I was in my late 30s. But the advice I would have given my younger self is start earlier. And 2 things inspired me. My young multiracial children began to ask questions about their heritage. And that led me to reflect on my own identity and to embrace my identity and see the multidimensionality that I brought. And really the crux of it here is that I realized that authenticity was key to being my best self. And I wanted to share those learnings with others. The second inspiration was my decision to build a career in HR. What began as a 2 to 3 year development role became a defining choice. When I was offered a big promotion back to a business role, what a senior executive actually said, a real job versus HR, I turned it down. I was crystal clear that HR was where I could make the greatest impact, where I could help others unlock their full potential. And that was purpose alignment for me. So you might be asking again, what can I do as a new graduate? How can I really embrace and instill diversity and inclusion? Invite diverse voices into conversations and ensure they're heard. There's no such thing as an innocent bystander. If you see disrespectful behavior, exclusion, racism, sexism, homophobia, ageism, say something, do something. Graduates, diversity is a fact, inclusion is an act. Use your voice, your privilege, and influence to drive meaningful, lasting change at work and in the community. We're living in a time of division. There's growing social polarization driven by politics, race, religion, income inequality that's pulling people apart. Your Trent education has given you the tools to build bridges. Go forward with courage, not just to succeed, but to build connection, which in turn builds trust. Help create a world where disagreement doesn't mean division, where equity is real, compassion louder than hate. Whether through dialogue, respectfully engaging with people who disagree with us, not thinking we know better, advocacy, or quiet acts of inclusion. The future needs more bridge builders. As member of the Trent community, you're critical thinkers and global citizens. You are grounded in Indigenous knowledge, environmental stewardship, and equity, diversity, and inclusion. Your education is a call to lead with integrity and shape a more just, sustainable world. That is the calling of your generation, and you are ready to lead that change. Take the best of what you've learned from your parents or your chosen family, combine it with what you've learned at Trent, and craft a life of purpose that reflects your most authentic self. Congratulations, graduates, on your achievements, and all the very best for your next chapter.